when you start real-time inventory, what you want to do is make sure that you run a report. The report that you want to run is shelf order for holdings code. That is in LS Reports. It's also in Reports Manager, so it is in both reporting packages. So if you're 335 and you do not have the Reports Manager yet, which you can get as well, you can still run the report for shelf order for holdings code. It's really important to run that report, and please don't miss doing this step here. Basically what this looks like, and I'll go ahead and run one here. I'll do it in the Reports Manager. So if you're in Reports Manager, you'll be here in Public Folders, and you will click on the inventory related reports, and then I'm going to click on shelf order for holdings code. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to choose your location. Okay. Then if you choose that, then you're going to choose the holdings code that you're about to inventory. And then display item ID. Pretty nice to have. That way you actually have the barcode on the report. So let's go ahead and run this. So a very small collection there that I had made up. So what you see here is you've got your call number type, which is very important. I'll explain why that's important. Let's see, we've got your call number class, your call number cutter, your sort call number, and then your item ID. So what we'll have here is basically you can use this thing as a log sheet. Okay, so you can write down where you began and where you ended for the day. If you've got an extremely large collection, such as your fiction or your nonfiction, it's good to mark where you left off, and then to begin again, mark where you begin again. Always write down the date of when you started, and you'll see why here after a while. Okay, so make sure you run this report. Okay, after running that report and printing it out, then what I'm going to do is you're going to bring up real-time inventory. And this is what it looks like. Basically, the address for real-time inventory, it's going to be your PAC address. So whether it be a domain name or whether it be the outside IP address of your web server, you will have your HTTP, whatever the address for your web server is, and it'll be /RTI. And if it's installed on your web server, this is what it will look like right here. Okay? So your user ID and your password to log into this is the same one you use for circulation. Okay? So I'm going to log in. I have two choices here before I log in. I have an option to scan items, and then I have an option for identify missing items. Okay? So to actually do the inventory portion of this, we will scan items. That will be my choice. Okay? One thing I want to note on here is that if you walk away from the program while you're using it and you come back, there is a 10-minute timeout period on this that's set, so you will have to log back in again and actually complete your inventory. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in. And let me blow the screen up a little larger here. Okay. So then, of course, what you're going to do is you will choose your location. I've got a very small database here. So you would choose your location, and then you will choose the collection that you will inventory. What I always recommend and what TLC always recommends, it's always a good idea to start with your smallest collection first, just to make sure you've got everything, everything's working okay. So what I would choose here, maybe like my DVD collection, and for whichever collection I'm going to scan, I'm just going to move that particular collection over here to the right-hand column. That's what I'm going to do with that. Now, I have a couple of options here. I can check shelf order, and I can ignore overdue fines. If I want to check shelf order, I can do that, then it will let me know if something's in the wrong order on your shelf. Okay, so once I'm ready to start, I will click on OK. Now, what real-time inventory, what this will require is preferably a mobile type computer. It will require a mobile type computer that you can actually take down the aisles of your stacks. in any circulation scanner that will scan barcodes with the carriage return turned on can be used for real-time inventory. It doesn't necessarily have to be one particular brand or another. As long as it's a barcode scanner and it has carriage return enabled, it will work just fine. So what you would do here with these is you would just you'll scan your barcodes in, and what will happen is you will see your barcode that will show up here, and you'll have your call number that will show here, and then you'll actually have your title that will show here, and you can verify everything that you're scanning as you're scanning it, okay? Some error messages that may come up, not really error messages, but really warnings that may come up. If you scan something and it's in the wrong, if it got misshelved and it's in the wrong place in your library, it will tell you that. If it's a particular item that does not belong in your library at all, it belongs somewhere else, then it's going to tell you that it belongs somewhere else as well. Okay, so what will happen? So you'll see this will populate. Once you're finished, of course, then you will click on Finish. Okay, and that will all go away and basically just log you out of the program. If you need to continue, you will log back in. You'll choose your branch or your location, choose your collection, and then you can continue again. Now, one thing that will happen is once you're logged out and you log back in, the screen will clear. You will not see any of the items that you had scanned on the screen again. That's okay. The items are marked in the database as being scanned for inventory purposes as you scan them. Okay, so if you don't see them on the screen, that's no problem. Okay, so once you are finished scanning all of your items in, I'll click on Finish. I'm going to log in again, except this time I'm going to choose Identify Missing Items. I'm going to click on Login. Now, one thing you're going to notice really quick, the other screen was blue. This is like an orange or a red here. Okay, so you'll know you're in a completely different portion of the real-time inventory. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to choose the location and the collection that you had just scanned. Okay, now the reason I had you note your beginning date of inventory is for this right here. Okay, you will need to note the beginning date of inventory. This is very important. Okay, if you get this date wrong, it is possible to mark that entire collection missing. It's very easy to fix if you do that. Just don't panic. Just go back in, fill in the correct date here on your beginning date of inventory. Okay, just basically click on the calendar there. You will choose your date, and everything is fine. And you can just process your missing items. And it says mark items missing if not scanned on or before 4/27/2010. So it's very important that you get this date correct. And I will say yes. And I probably just marked all of my items missing. But I'm finished. Okay, so we'll log out and go into there. Then the very last thing that you do is you will go, let me get back out of here. You will go back into reports and you will run your inventory identify missing items log, which will be this report here. Okay, so you will choose your location, and then choose your holdings code. Now, it says here, enter the last date and time that you ran the Identify Missing Items process. Transactions posted after this date and time will be reported. So what you will need to do is that when you run your Identify Missing Items, Bear with me here a second, guys. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Be sure to note the date and the time that you click on the button Process Missing Items, because it's going to ask for it. It is going to ask for it in this report right here. Now, what TLC recommends is note the date and the time that you ran your missing items process. Then when you get over here to report, it's usually a good idea to choose the same date, but to back your time up maybe 10, 15 minutes from the time you actually ran that. And the reason being, you need to make sure that you're back just slightly ahead of the time that you actually ran it, taking into account that the server time may be a little bit different than the time that's on your watch or the time that's on your workstation there. Okay, so once you do that, then you will click on Finish, and then you will generate your report. And being as I didn't actually inventory that particular collection, I don't have anything. So that's really all there is to real-time inventory, guys. There is a lot less steps in this particular version of inventory than what there is in the regular LS inventory. Okay, we're going to break